At least so far, we've got 10 cars out of a schedule of 13 accounted for. The top 2 move on.
3 B features to qualify for the A.
Yep, and only 2 of them go on to the Charlie Clark Memorial main event for the Sportmod. So unfortunately, it looks like Justin Kleinsma, Steven Biggerstaff, and Tyler Watts all MIA tonight in this one. So a lot of heavy hitters already eliminated. Here we go. 2 move on to the Charlie Clark Memorial for the Sportmods. We go green in B feature number 1.
9 laps, top 2 moving on. John Schwint, AJ Bull, John Schwint, a little bit of trouble getting into turn number 1. Slides up the racetrack. Bullware is going to take over that second spot.
Whoa, we got big trouble. Big trouble.
1 car gets around, collects 2 other cars. I believe, is that Scott Nagget's?
Dane Martindale went around Daniel Wagner, the other one involved, and he got drilled by the 18M of Mason Richards. Mason just had nowhere to go as Martindale and Wagner went down the hill off of turn number 2.
1 lap completed. B feature 1 of 3. I thought I blew the engine on it, so it sat in my garage for a year and a half. And then finally I said, okay, I'm going to pay to get the engine fixed. I called Ty's Outdoor Power and Service, gave him the model number on my snowblower, took it out to him. They called me 2 days later and said, got some good news. It's just a hung fly rod. We got it fixed, $50. Again, Ty's Outdoor Power and Service will always have my business. For the great service and for supporting local dirt racing, green flag is back out.
Well, unfortunately, Dane Martindale and Mason Richards are going to call it quits there. That's going to hurt my fantasy picks right now. And unfortunately, John Schwinn up against the wall in turn number 2. He got caught in the marbles. It looks like he'll try to keep it going. We stay green. Tony Asierno, the inside off at turn number 4. He'll lead the 14s off at turn number 4. Asierno, your leader. And it's AJ Bullware, second. Caution's out. John Schwinn coming to a stop off at turn number 2. And we are under yellow flag conditions for the second time. And Dan, I said it before, we saw a couple roll in. I see another car rolling in through the pit shack.
And he needed to take some time away. Now that he's back into racing, he has more cars in his shop than he's ever had. Modifieds, stock cars, late models. I think he's even got a bragging right late model that he works on every once in a while.
Well, he's
busy man.
He's leading the Malvern Banks Super Late Model points going into their final race. That'll be coming up next weekend. I believe Advantage will be having coverage of that race. Meanwhile, they've got coverage of this race that's just gone back to green, our first Sport Mod B here at the Charlie Clark Memorial. Brett Berry looking to the inside of AJ Bullware, just able to scoot by for the second spot. Again, top 2 move on to the big show. And now Lee Horkey, he knows that, going to the inside of Bullware for the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Tony Asierno, the Colorado native, will lead lap number 2.
Lee Horkey, the first car on the outside, looking in, up the racetrack slightly, tries to diamond the corner off, gets a run down the backstretch. He's going to pull away from Bullware. Bullware was trying to get that 3rd spot away in turn 1, not able to make it happen in 2. Lee Horkey out of turn 4 in 3rd.
Horkey and that Jet Mod chassis, always a tough customer when it comes to I-80 Speedway. Just for some reason or another, just can't quite put all the pieces together. This would be a big one for the number 7 out of Fairbury, Nebraska. He looks good, but he still needs to get 1 more spot before this one's all said and done. We'll have 2 flags up this time. We have 2 laps to go on the board. Tony Asierno out of Arvada, Colorado, making the move, making the trip down from the Mile High State worth his while.
Lee Horkey running in about 0.2 slower last time than Brett Berry. He's going to have to find something as the white flag waves for Tony Asierno.
Asierno.
Okay, I'll let you say it. Brett Berry in 2nd. Like I said, Lee Horkey in 3rd. AJ Bullware in 4th. And Scott Nagget's your top 5.
Well, Asierno will bring it off at turn number 4, and he will punch his ticket into the Charlie Clark Memorial. Brett Berry's going to join him. Lee Horkey will come home 3rd, and then it'll be AJ Bullware and Scott Nagget's will round out your top 5.
So that's it for Lee Horkey, AJ Bullware, Scott Nagget's, Jalen Fairchild, John Schwint, Dane Martindale, Daniel Wagner, Mason Richards, Justin Kleinsma, and Steven Biggerstaff, along with Tyler Watts. All of them are done for the night. They're not necessarily done for the weekend. They'll be back in action tomorrow night for the Speedway Motors Cornhusker Classic.
Looks like Tyler Dolch not making the call either. He was supposed to be on the outside of the front row, so that's going to move Lane Cornwell in that Tanner Helster Memorial, number 11T, on the outside of the front row. So here we go. Caution lights go out. We have 11 of 13 accounted for, so here we go.
Jared Weston and Lane Cornwell front row. They want to hold on to both of those positions, but we've seen tonight, tricky track and tough competition. You're not guaranteed a position even though you start on the pole.
Here we go, 2 spots in the Charlie Clark Memorial on the line. And it's going to be J-Rod on pole position off of 4. Green is up in our second. Sportmod B main.
Trouble for Cornwell. He gets pushed up out of the track. We got cars all around.
Oh,
Riffle. Oh, hard hit for Latour.
Yikes.
Slams into the inside guardrail on Bob Kaziski Boulevard. Both Bo Riffle and Daniel Latour at a stop.
That started about the second row. I think Matt Avila and Hunter, I believe the 3W of Adam Weber, they got together. Weber got sideways. It was just an accordion effect. Flat left rear on the 413 of Bo Riffle.
Window net is down for Daniel Latour. He's climbing out of the race car.
Good sign there. And yeah, unfortunately, Daniel, that car is about a foot shorter. Well, we'll take a look at the Advantage Racing instant replay here. We'll see what happened here. I said it happened about the second row. We saw there, it looked like Cornwell and Weber may have got a little bit together. Bo Riffle right there already trying to scrub off speed, gets into Latour, and man, yeah, big nose stuff by the 14M.
Wojo's got some paint work to do on the front stretch wall now.
Yep. Well, keeping him employed at least.
Yeah. Wojo, we need you out there painting tomorrow morning. Let's get it nice and shiny again for the final 2 races of the Cornhusker Classic.
I mean, in these trying times, I mean, I know help is not easy to come by. Jared Weston, Lane Cornwell, row 1. Matt Avila, Adam Weber, row 2. Then it's Evan Arabic, Dave Cook, row 3. John Foreman, Willie Kirk, row 4. And Melissa Latour riding shotgun on this one.
I think this was a fortunate restart for Lane Cornwell. Did not have a good start on the last one.
Did not at all.
He's got his nose stuck out there now. On the throttle. Much better. I thought maybe he had a miss.
He did not miss that time as we get back to racing action here. Matt Avila in that 2X. Normally been running stock cars in the first half of the season for the Van Eatonville Mafia. Hopefully we'll get those guys out here. And Avila going right to work on the inside off at turn number 4. That's going to be nearly 3 wide for the lead. A little smoke off the 2X at the line. Give it to Weston by 2 1/1000ths of a second. Doesn't get much closer than that.
Avila slides up in front of him out of turn number 2. Weston gets a good run on the exit of turn number 2. Weston gets the spot down the back stretch.
Into 3, Avila back up in front. He'll slide up to take the line away from Weston as they exit turn number 4. Matt Avila, your racer. Now we got to spin at the back of turn number 4. That's going to be Melissa Latour. We'll see if she can get it refired. Looks like she's got her foot in the gas, trying to get it going, but survey says not in time. Caution out again. Caution
comes out for the 14 of Melissa Latour, the 14K. Well, I was just curious what part of Africa, and now I'm not even entirely sure she was in Africa, but that's what she told me, and I believe her.
Well, unfortunately, Melissa is going to make the left-hand turn into the pit, so her night is done. Hopefully, best of luck to her tomorrow in the Cornhusker Classic, and to her and the rest of the First Responders Motorsports team.
Green flag is back out. B feature number 2 in your Ties Outdoor Power and Service Sport Modifieds. Avila and Weston, your top 2 transfers. Good run for Cornwell on the low side. He's trying to get the momentum out of turn number 2.
Meanwhile, John Foreman working that outside line to keep Evan Arabic and Willie Kirk behind him. Kirk with a good dive into turn number 3. Kirk to the low side by side with Foreman for the 5th spot as they come off at turn number 4. Great race there, as you see on the Advantage Racing broadcast. We go into 1. That battle right behind the 3 of Adam Weber.
Avila is running away with this race lead, taking advantage of the green flag laps. Jared Weston holding on to that 2nd spot, but Lane Cornwell is digging. Cornwell dives to the low side, turn 4, bobbles a little bit on the exit of turn number 4. He's to the inside of Weston. Weston's going to hold on to it with 5 laps left to go.
How about the run by Willie Kirk, utilizing that low side and trying to nose ahead of Weber to take the 4th spot. Kirk started clear back in position number 12. initially scheduled, so about 10th right now. Kirk has worked his way up to the 4th spot and trying to challenge for that final transfer spot. Kirk looking low. Here goes Cornwell to the inside of Weston. Great racing there with 1 transfer spot on the line.
Did I see right? Willie Kirk picked up Rookie of the Year honors in the IMCA National Points for your Sport Modified. Drifts up the racetrack, almost makes contact with Lane Cornwell.
Little too close for comfort there for Kirk there, especially for Cornwell. And now Cornwell a little sideways there, may have caught a little bit of the corner in turn 1. And it looks like Adam Weber may have gotten a little bit there as he starts to fade from Cornwell. This time around, 2 laps to go. Matt Avila.
Willie Kirk is there. He's looking to the inside of Jared Weston at 3 and 4. Weston got a good run out of turn number 4. Kirk's going to go back to the low side. Weston to the high side. Battle for the final transfer spot is on.
How about it? How's this for getting 86th right now? Jared Weston and Willie Kirk having about 86W.
Willie Kirk
86J.
dives to the inside, slides up the racetrack, closes the door on Weston. Battle for the final transfer spot continues as the white flag comes out.
Man, oh man, all eyes on that battle for second. Meanwhile, up front, your race leader has gone up and scurried off. The Van Eatonville Mafia, they have taught Matt Avila very well. He ran stock cars for the first part of the season, and he has really picked up in the sport mod. Avila wins this one, and Kirk comes from deep in the field to make the Charlie Clark Memorial main event.
Willie Kirk scheduled to start 12th, brings it home in second, punches his ticket to the A feature.
Wow.
What a final couple of laps. I bet Jared Weston is kicking himself in that car.
It's up right there, but race fans, give it up for your B feature winner. He represents Prescott, Iowa, doing the Van Eatonville Mafia proud. Car number 2X, let him hear you, Matt Avila. That's 3.
Row number 4 to the inside, out of Lincoln, the 44, that's going to be McLean Reed. To his outside, out of Fremont, the 82, Mike Leonard.
5th row back on the inside. Hopefully they got the car fixed after that inferno they had in the heat race. From Omaha in the 14S, it's the boogeyman, Brian Sullivan. On his outside from Lincoln, Nebraska, car number 70, it's the Rain Man, Ray Harrington.
Final row inside, row number 6. It's the 76 out of Council Bluffs. It's going to be Dave Orr. To his outside, the 5T, Tyler Inman, out of Altoona, Iowa.
Well, looks like we've got a good chunk of the field accounted for. It looks like, unfortunately, Brian Sullivan not making out there, so not going to be a boogie night there for the boogeyman. Looks like Tyler Inman stuck it in as well. Caution lights are out, race fans. This is the last chance for one last dance for the sport mods here at the VP Racing Fuels Charlie Clark Memorial.
Joe Fayen with a good start. He's going to take a 1-car length advantage going into turn number 1. Can he hold on to it as they're 2 wide out of turn 2? Good run for the 77 of Sacco.
Hunter Poston trying to pull even with Sacco as they go into turn number 3. Sacco up the hill off at 3 and 4, cuts back down. Poston's right there. Lap 1 will go to the former Beaver Lake Bandit, Joe Fayen. Here goes Sacco ready to throw her in deep. Meanwhile, we got a spin at the bottom of turn number 4, and that will bring out the caution. It's Ray Harrington.
The Rain Man brings out the caution, and that is a good time for the caution for Joe Fayen. He was scored as your race leader last time by the start-finish line, so he'll take that spot back from Jake Sacco. Tough for Jake Sacco. Pulled the move, made the move, or made got the spot away from Joe Fayen, but it was all for naught.
Unfortunately, the Rain Man raining on Sacco's parade this time. We'll take a look at it. Harrington near the tail end of the field. Yep, just lost it in the slick in the middle of turn number 3.
That's a solo spin.
And that is the Lone Ranger rule being in effect.
And we are also taking a drink for the solo spins. I-80 Speedway, if you're playing along at the racetrack or at home, get them up, get them up, get them up. Take a drink for the Kaziskis.
Single file nose to tail on this restart. Back to green we go.
Oh, Joe Fayen cut the nose off the 77 of Sacco. On that start, Sacco's going to dive to the inside in turn number 1. He'll slide up the racetrack. Fayen's got the outside run. He'll take over the lead spot down the backstretch.
Fayen's got that Jet Mod chassis working. He's got many laps around here in a stock car. Used to compete in the old Pro-Am street stock division here many months, many moons ago here at I-80. And meanwhile, Jake Sacco ready to take the fight to him. Sacco had the lead the last time by 900ths, and now he's got the lead outright as they come off at turn 2.
Fayen tried the crossover move, wasn't able to get the momentum out of turn number 2. Sacco's got the race lead. Fayen's got the final transfer spot. Once again, top 2 moving on to the A feature. This is your third and final Ties Outdoor Power and Service Sportmod B feature.
Good race there. Hunter Poston able to fend off Austin Yoakum. That's the battle for third. Field's starting to fan out a bit across the I-80 Speedway. Jake Sacco running that racer jazzively for car number 77 for Cody Williams. Team based out of Minneapolis, Kansas. They brought a stock car down here. I believe Cody will be driving that. If not, it'll be Tyler Fry. We'll see who drives that for the final round of the stock car crown. Meanwhile, Hunter Poston, he's got something to say about that final transfer spot as we go to turn 3. Battle is on.
Poston looks to the low side. Fayen on the high side. Fayen working the groove on the exit of turn number 2. Up against the cushion. He'll take a 3-car length advantage at the line. Poston goes back to the low side as Fayen stays to the high. Poston breaks loose, slides up the racetrack. That might have been it for him.
Yoakum's got a good run. Yeah, I mean, the sands are ticking away in the hourglass right now. 3 laps to go this time. He could mount a charge back, but it's a tall order right now. That's a lot of ground to make up for it. Fayen's not waiting for anyone.
All the while, Jake Sacco, second time taking the lead away. It's stuck that time. He'll come to the signal of 2 laps left to go, running a 21-second lap time. He's 0.3 faster than Joe Fayen, who's currently trying to hold off Poston and Yoakum to be the final transfer spot.
Yeah, that time Sacco ran a 20.5, just over. Great run there for the 77. His car owner, Cody Williams, has got to be loving that. The car looks solid. Hopefully that's got that kind of juice for the feature, as Sacco wants to punch his ticket in. He's 1 lap away from doing that. White flag is out for your leader, Jake Sacco.
Jake Sacco, like we said, typically drives the number 14, currently running the 77. He's almost running the numbers off those cars. That car running such a fast lap time, 20.775 on his last lap. Jake Sacco pulls the car out of turn number 4, gets the checkered flag from Travis Meyer, picks up the final B feature win.
Poston overdrove it. And
Joe Fayen.
Joe Fayen's going to join Sacco in the main, and Poston, he nosed it hard into the guardrail. Look at that nose job that Hunter got on the screen right here. Take a look at that. Oof.
Well, on the final lap, you either send it or win it. Well, you send it to either win it or wreck it, and he ended up wrecking it.
The top right there for the 58 out of Villisca, Iowa. Hunter Poston going to be coming up short of that one. But race fans, give it up for your B main winner. B feature number 3. He hails out of Manning, Iowa, running for the team based out of Minneapolis, Kansas. Car number 77, your winner, Jake Sacco.